All right, we're starting Fruit of the Bog, and we're talking about our ability to infer or to draw conclusions. So, as we read, what are we doing? We're going to do some good close reading habits. What are the growing conditions like in Massachusetts, Wisconsin? As we read, I want you guys to highlight details that tell about the conditions all cranberries need to grow. So, what are the growing conditions? What do they need? Fruit of the bog, right? The first people known to eat cranberries were the Native Americans in northern regions of what is now the United States. Centuries before the Pilgrims arrived in 1620s, Native Americans ate a bread made with cranberries mashed into cornmeal. They also munched on dried cranberries throughout the winter. But cranberries were useful for more than just food. Native Americans made dye from the berries to color blankets and rugs, and they used the berries as medicine for treatment of wounds. In 1810, Henry Hall from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, became the first person known to cultivate cranberries. The word cultivate means to grow as a farm crop. Cranberries grow only in particular conditions. All right, so they're going to tell us the growing conditions, right? They grow best in bogs. They need an acid, peat soil, and steady water supply, and a covering of sand. The growing season must last from April to November, followed by a dormant period in the winter. The winter chill is needed for the fruit buds to mature. That's interesting. Do you know how cranberry farmers know when the berries are ripe and ready to harvest? The small berries float to the surface of the bog and bob along there, right? Can we infer, don't say it out loud, but can we infer what a bog is? I'm going to read it. Again, do you know how cranberry farmers know when the berries are ripe and ready for harvest? The small berries float to the surface of the bog and bob along there. Put it in your head. I bet you know, though. The farmers are able to pull off this nifty harvest trick because inside each berry is a tiny pocket of air. For years, the number one cranberry producing state in the United States was Massachusetts. However, since 1995, the state of Wisconsin has been the top cranberry producer. In 2010, Wisconsin harvested more than 4 million barrels of cranberries. Wow, that's interesting. So, it's asking you this question. What inference can you make about Wisconsin based on the details of the article? Why all of a sudden it used to be Massachusetts, but now Wisconsin is the top producer of cranberries? What can you infer? They don't really tell you why, but we can infer some reasons. Like, man, Wisconsin must have the perfect what for growing?
Weather.
Yeah, or conditions, right? All right, that's all I'm going to give you on that one. All right. Then you're going to come down here. What is this guy doing? Uh-oh. What the text said, what I read, plus what I know equals what I infer, right? You're gonna do this about, I want you to do about Wisconsin. Listen, I want you to tell what you read about a bog. What did you read about Wisconsin? Right? And one more thing. What can we do? Yeah, let's do one thing about cranberries. Right? All right. Then finally, those are your topics. What the text said about the bog in Wisconsin and cranberries, what you know about them, and what you can infer. There's inferences to be made there. Here is your writing project. Using the information from your chart, explain your inferences about growing conditions in Massachusetts and Wisconsin. Use details from the passage to support your response. So I'm going to add one up here. I'm just going to do slash Massachusetts, right? Got it? All right. What can we infer about those two? What can we infer about a bog? And what can we infer about cranberries? Well, 4 million barrels, right? What can we infer about cranberries? They don't tell us. Well, maybe, but we can infer what? Yeah.
There is
There's a lot of them, but why do they keep growing so many of them? Yes.
because they have like a perfect condition for them.
Well, but we kind of know that. We're inferring that about Wisconsin, but why do they grow 4 million cranberries? Yeah.
For like cranberry juice.
Sure, we know what it's used for, but what can we infer about people? What?
They like that.
But does the article tell you that people like them? But certainly we can make that inference, can't we? Yeah, they're growing 4 million barrels, right? Yeah, there's a demand for that. All right, but the article doesn't tell us that. So that, Tenley, is an inference. All right, I've read the story.